Welcome back, everybody. Thank you, Pastor. Almost called him Doctor. Pastor Tim Timberlake for being on the show tonight. Get the book, people. I think that's an interesting book. I think anything that makes us slow down and really think about what we're doing is worth the trouble of reading. And I think he's absolutely right. It's great advice for you to acknowledge the truth of the blessing of each day. I got another blessing for you. I didn't come with one blessing. I came with two. Welcome to the show tonight. Another great author who's written another great book called Aspire for Change, the one and only Mr. Kenneth Hampton. Hello, Mr. Hampton. How you doing, sir?
I'm blessed, Dr. Sean. Thank you for having me on the show this evening.
Now, the way you said my name, are you from New York?
I'm from Connecticut, which is right down the street from New York.
There you go. You said it like you're from the East Coast, Sean. That's it. There you go. I knew it. I knew it when I heard it. Listen, man, let me ask you, because again, you know, I want to get to your work and to your thought. And I'm going to turn you loose really to inspire people and encourage people. But before we do that, I really want people to know you because let me tell you how I am, Kenneth. I don't take advice from people that I don't know nothing about. So
I feel you.
It's like, I don't know you. I'm not taking your advice. I want people to take your advice and I want them to know you. So I want to begin by asking you this. And I've never, Jocelyn, my producer, wrote it. Normally I do my own questions, but she wrote this question. I thought this was a great question. So I got to give whoever wrote it, I think it was Jocelyn, credit for it. But here's the question. What lessons have you had to learn the hard way? I think that's such a great question. I wish I had thought of it.
Well, for myself, before I became a Christian, my life was on the downhill. I lived a life of really riotous, and I was a womanizer. So I learned a lot of valuable lessons through hurting a lot of women. Mm-hmm. I went through I got 3 children, 3 baby mothers, and hurting women and cheating. I did a lot of cheating. And one of the lessons I really learned is if you're cheating, believe me, it's going to come back to you. And I had a situation to where I was out cheating one night, and I went to a payphone, and I got robbed by gunpoint with 3 people. 3 people robbed me at gunpoint to my chest, my head, and my back. And I learned from that situation that, listen, it doesn't pay to cheat. I was in my 20s, and you would think that I would have learned. So I had to go through a lot of hard lessons to realize that hurting people is not the way, because what you do wrong to others will come back to you eventually.
Yeah, you know what? I'm keeping this question because that was a great answer. that was captivating. It was interesting. It had substance. Can I push you a little bit? Do you mind?
Okay. Push me, doctor.
Because let me ask you: have you ever apologized for what you did, for who you were?
It's ironic that you asked that. When my life was changed, when God changed my life, one of the things that he said to me, he says, you know better today. Now that you know better, you can do better.
Yeah.
But if you get the opportunity to ever go back and tell the people what you've done and that you're sorry for it, to do that. And that is one of the things that I've done with every woman that I've come across after I've hurt them.
Well, Ken, stop for a second, because I just feel something just following with this. There are a lot of women tonight who are watching who've been cheated on, right?
Yeah.
And there are a lot of men who have cheated on them, and they will never get to hear the apology that they deserve, right?
That's true.
As someone who got delivered from that, who become a better person, what would you say to them? What would you offer to them as consolation, as you stand in proxy for the men who are not men enough to say it, but you are? What would you say to them tonight?
I would say to women who've been cheated on, we can't go back and change the people that we've been involved with, but today know your worth and give yourself time to get to know someone. We're in a day and time where everyone's in a rush to get into a relationship, but we don't never take enough time to really get to know the person. I say the main thing is women understand that you have to be able to relate in a ship. If you can't relate, please do not get into the boat. And because most guys, and if you look back over history, especially for the culture of African American. I grew up in the inner cities, so a lot of the brothers, we didn't know any better, so we couldn't do better.
Yeah, listen, I got to take a break, but I'm with Kenneth on that. Ironically, I'm the opposite of you. I've actually never cheated on anybody.
That's a blessing, brother.
Either that or reduced options. but the reality is, I stand with you, and I say to all of them that we're sorry for all the men who did it and are not men enough to say it. We're sorry. We're sorry we did that. We're sorry we hurt you, and you deserve to hear that and to know it.
That's right.
So let's take a break, because that was good.
That's true.
It's always good, right?
Yeah, right.
Go to break.
Can we introduce our very tanned goddess, hostess with the mostest, Claudia Jordan, coming from Aruba.
Cocktails with the queens.
Girl, you was playing with the flamingos. Was just looking sexy. Ow. Don't come back pregnant. Yeah.
If I do, I'll be in trouble because my boyfriend didn't come with me. He'll be kind of like...
Every Monday night.
We have some comments from the chat. Star said Claudia got that after sex glow. Y'all gonna get me in trouble because KJ is not here with me, okay?
I think it's just vapor with flavor.
It won't hurt my kid like cigarettes, right?
Vaping is safer than smoking, isn't it?
There's really not even that much nicotine in them, right?
My kid?
My kid knows it's dangerous.
Get your head out of the cloud. Today, nearly 8,000 kids will start vaping, maybe even yours. Learn about the dangers at talkaboutvaping.org.
I'm not getting the vaccine. Are either one of you?
I don't get the first iPhone. I'm not getting the first version of the vaccine. I will get the vaccine. I'm just not going to be in the front of the line.
Hollywood Unlocked Uncensored.
I'm so excited. We have gospel legend Marvin Sapp here. When you think about what's going on in the world, do you think there's a spiritual warfare happening?
Absolutely.
Every Friday.
Based upon what has happened in the pandemic, tomorrow's not promised. Let's make a decision now to go get it.
On Fox Soul.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm talking to Kenneth Hampton, and Kenneth, I absolutely like you. I like how refreshing and how just open and how real you are, and I appreciate that. I want to change gears from how we started, because you and I had a similar experience. You were heading off to be a rapper. You were going to be in music and do your thing. And I can hear from your verbal skills tonight that you would have been pretty successful at it, because words are friends to your mind. I can tell.
Absolutely.
But you heard a sermon, and the sermon changed your life. Tell me about that sermon, man. I want to hear about this.
Which is very crazy. That again, I come from the cheating world, and I have to be 100% honest. My experience the last night I was in a club, I was with a young lady, took her home, and the Spirit spoke to me the next morning and said, "Son, go to church." And I'm like, "Go to church? For what? Like, ain't nothing in church for me. Everything that I needed was right here." But the Spirit spoke to me and he said, "Go to church." And I told my mom, I said, I was like in my late teens, early 20s. I said, "Mom, I'm gonna go to church today." And she was like, "Church? What?" I said, "Yeah, I'm going to church." So I went to church and I sat in the back of the church. My best friend, he had just gave his life to the Lord. And I sat in the back. He had invited me before, but I said, I'll take it one other time. And I said, so I sat in the back of the church, and it seemed like the pastor either knew me or my best friend told him about me, because the sermon was, "Never let another man go through what you've been through." And growing up, going through without a father figure, and having a daughter at the time, that sermon touched me. He said, never let another man go through what you went through. And I sat back there, and as he was bringing forth the word, it was something that pricked my heart. Said, son, it's time for you to make a U-turn from the road that you're on. Instead of hurting these women, I want to bring you into my covenant and have you build people. And that day was the day that changed my life. And at that time, I still had my struggles because I love women. As men, we do. And I struggled for a long time, but I said to myself, I'm going to continue seeking and going to church and seeking after God. And eventually, he took that desire away. And then I got married, was married for 17 years, loved only one woman, was faithful to that woman. And we were together for 20 years and got a divorce. But I understood that God is calling us as men to be leaders, to be guys, to have structure, and to stop hurting women.
Well, how about this, Ken? God, life, whatever you believe in, is calling us to be better human beings.
Absolutely.
How about that? You know, we get caught up in, not you, but, you know, the proverbial we get caught up in assigning roles to men, you know, and making that the definition of our function becomes our definition. No. Each man lives out his manhood differently. Each man walks in that differently. But all of us can be better human beings.
Absolutely.
And I think that's the thing. We have. If you ask a man, what does it mean to be a man? He can answer that. Ask him what it means to be a better human being, and he'll struggle with that because that's not normally what's given to us. To me, it's just so profound and interesting that you had this moment in your life that was really transformative. I ask people all the time, give me a defining moment, and you really had one. It happened in church. It happened with a sermon where you really start to assess what you were doing to yourself and to people, and you slowly worked your way to being a different person, which again, and I do this on purpose, that's why I took my time getting to this book that you have written called Aspire for Change, right? So everybody watching, we're going to spend the rest of this interview talking about his book, Aspire for Change, Transformation and Change. Okay, what qualifies this guy you've never heard of, you might not have heard a lot of, to talk about this book tonight? Well, he just told you. He just told you. He is a living witness of what he has given you in this book because he's worked to change his nature, his desire, his taste, his behavior. And so he's come back from the fight with tools to teach us how to do it. And that's why I do the interviews the way that I do them. That's why I take my time walking people through these conversations, because I want people to understand we don't bring people on here who haven't earned the right to say what they're saying, right? And just because Kenneth hasn't been on whoever's platform yet, which I speak it over your life, you're headed to big things, sir. The reality is this man has the moral authority to teach all of us and to help us understand how we can change. And maybe what you need to change is not what he changed, but we all need to change something, whether it's eating pizza, whether it's cheating, whether it's slacking off, procrastination. We're going to get our tips when we come back. Kenneth Hampton is going to walk us through what we need to aspire for change. We'll be right back.
Just so that everybody knows, this is probably the first time that y'all gonna hear this.
Worth a conversation with Jeezy.
I'm just the most curious person in the world, man. That's my gift and my curse. If you don't evolve, you're gonna evaporate. That's my mentality.
Hold on, if you don't evolve, you're gonna evaporate. That's a bar.
Every Wednesday.
Your birthday, everybody was there, your family, your friends, your peers.
That was by far the best time of my entire life.
When I come up on my big one, I'm calling you because I'm gonna need you to plan that for me.
I know what you're thinking. I need a job. I need a new career.
Well, I've been there.
I've been there.
I've been there. I wasn't happy with what I was doing. After high school, I didn't have a plan.
I just wanted to start working. I got laid off twice, but you gotta keep going.
You just need the right skills. Find an apprenticeship.
I found a 2-year IT program.
I found a medical course online.
I'm now a consultant in the tech space.
You have more options than you think. You can do this. You will find something.
You will find something new.
Desert Sea Race. Love is love.
She's a sexy, soulful siren from Chicago. Say that 5 times real fast if you dope with it. Give it up for Sandy Red.
Later with Leon.
You got a video on YouTube of your audition for The Voice that's got like 4-point-something million views.
Every Monday night, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific.
What was that like for you?
42 million, Leon. Give me
42 million. I'm sorry. I jollifies. I don't want no smoke.
On Fox Soul.
Welcome back, people. I'm in here patting myself on the back. I'm not telling you why. That's between me and Kenneth. It's a little bit something about carbs. And listen, so Kenneth, let's talk about the book. All right, Aspire for Change. Tell me why you wrote this book.
Well, believe it or not, my story, as I told you, my background is a hurting of women. And when I actually gave my life to the Lord, He told me, I'm gonna fill you up with healing instead of hurting. And throughout the years, 20 years, I've been healing and getting information and knowledge and wisdom and understanding that this world is a hospital and everybody's dealing with something.
Love it.
And now it's time for us who know better to do better to help those heal. So I've been sending words of affirmation to random people that I meet. And I really believe that we're all connected and we're not here born for ourselves. We're here for everyone that's placed in our lives. So when God spoke to me in regards to, I'm gonna have you to heal from the hurting, He gave me daily affirmations for myself, first and foremost. And then He said, share these affirmations with everyone that comes into your contact. And so I'm in the film industry. I work in the film industry, and I met a film director named Judy San Roman. I was working on a film for Netflix called American Brawler. And with that, we connected, and I started sending her those daily affirmations. And lo and behold, did not even know that she was going through situations at the time. And almost a year later, she contacted me to say, Ken, I want to thank you for these affirmations that you've been sending me because they helped me through a dark and difficult time of my life. Have you ever considered putting these words and affirmations into a book? And I was like, no, I'm not a writer. She said, you are a writer. These words and these messages that you send, the world needs to have a hold of them. So I am willing to assist you with putting out your first book. And so the credit really goes to someone that I encouraged who got affirmation and it touched their lives. Those positive words touched their lives and they got behind it.
But you know what, Ken, stop for a second, because I just had an aha moment. That being this, with all the women you hurt and with all the women you disrespected, after you had come through your season of transformation, God used a woman. God used a woman, took the very thing that you had hurt and used it to bless you and platform you and push you to another level. That is the mystery and the marvel of the Creator. As I say that, what comes into your mind, your spirit, as I say that?
What comes into my spirit is most women today who know who I am don't know who I used to be. It's only the women who I hurt who understands that the transformation is really real. For those who just know me for who I am today, they don't really know who I used to be. So it's people like my son's mother, my daughter's mother, my children, the people from my past who today, they said that this man is truly changed because we've seen the worst of them turn into the best of them. We've seen the mess be turned into a messenger. So the people who are in my life today, who come into my life today, they only get to know who I am. They don't know who I was. That's why this book and these messages tell people what I used to be, how my transformation was made, and how I got to this place today.
Yeah, I love it. I absolutely love it because this conversation, this book, your witness tonight affirms something that I really believe. I believe that people can change. I know a lot of people watching may not. A lot of people watching, and people, you know, the person who is, I think people can change. I've done it myself, you know.
Absolutely.
Now, maybe not completely change. We'll never be perfect in the area that we need to transfer, but people can change. And I just
it's a process.
I think it's so important that we believe, especially if you love somebody, respond to this, that the person you're loving, no matter what state they're in right now, you have to believe that transformation is possible for them.
Absolutely. And believing is the key. And you have to want to have a desire to want to change. We say, because a changed mind leads to a changed life. If you change that mindset, then you can change your life state. But you have to want to change. You got to be sick and tired of being sick and tired of being in a state to go out of that state. I use women. Women go through a lot of hurt and a lot of relationships before they get fed up, sick and tired of being sick and tired of being hurt. And then they make up their mind and say, I'm truly going to change this situation.
And what about the men that hurt them? What change do we need to make?
Well, one thing I think with men, we have to become less selfish. Men are very selfish and self-centered.
Yes.
Women have, I call it the umbilical cord syndrome. So they birth life. So they have a loving spirit. They naturally, men, it has to be a discipline thing. A man that loves is disciplined. And if a man truly loves, then he's going to do all that he can to cover and shield that thing that he say he loves. And true love will never hurt what it says it loves. So we got to first understand what love truly is as men. If we say we love someone, then why would we deliberately hurt someone that we said that we love? Obviously, we don't know what love is because love doesn't hurt.
Right. And we are selfish. We're narcissistic. We're so hurt and so in need of attention that we need everything to be reducible down to us, our feelings, our wants, our desires, our wishes. You've given us a lot tonight, man. I'm out of time, but you've given us a lot tonight. Quickly answer this question for me. Give me one sentence that you would say to every man who wants to change.
Seek God.
Give me one sentence that you would say to every woman who is hoping for change.
Seek God.
I got to go, kid. I got to go. You got to come back because we got to finish the conversation.
Absolutely.
And I'm out of time. But everybody pick up this book, man. Aspire for Change. Real quick, tell people where they can get it. Real quick. Quick.
Amazon.com.
Okay, good. Get the book, people. Aspire for Change, Kenneth Hampton. Thank you, Pastor Tim Timberlake, for being on the show tonight. Thank you, Kenneth Hampton. Both of you. I've enjoyed both of you tonight. Listen, people, thank you for watching. And it's a lot to think about, huh? We got to go.
Thank you, Dr. Sean.
All right. Love you.